welcome to the Nonstop Rundown. I'm Michael Gortulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Lots to talk about today.
Yes.
Lots making news, specifically New York Jets player Braylon Edwards getting arrested for DWI. Paris Hilton not being allowed in Japan. Wonder why.
The Red Sea. Did Moses part it, or was it something else? We're going to have those stories coming up. But first, a look at weather and the latest headlines.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Linda Beccaro with your News 4 update this Wednesday. Get ready for traffic. President Obama will be in Manhattan for the next 3 days for the UN General Assembly. He speaks today at the Anti-Poverty Summit, which is a push to get global leaders to reduce poverty by the year 2015. And then tomorrow he'll address the General Assembly. He'll leave New York Friday morning. And as you can imagine, security is extra tight on the east side and near the Waldorf Astoria, where the president will stay during his visit. Mayor Bloomberg plans to endorse Andrew Cuomo's bid for governor today. The endorsement is some much-needed good news for Cuomo. A new Quinnipiac poll out this morning shows Cuomo with only a 6-point lead over Republican Carl Palladino. Mets closer Francisco K-Rod Rodriguez faces arraignment today on criminal contempt charges. Prosecutors say the 28-year-old reliever violated a restraining order by sending text messages to his girlfriend. Rodriguez faces charges of beating her father outside a lounge at Citi Field after a game. Queens prosecutors say K-Rod sent her 56 text messages, mostly asking for forgiveness. And FEMA representatives will be in Brooklyn and in Queens today to inspect the damage from last week's tornado. Now, if they determine that the storm did more than $25 million worth of damage, well, some residents could be reimbursed even if they don't have insurance. But city officials warn there are a lot of factors for FEMA to consider before making a decision. They say despite all the damage, getting federal funds is not guaranteed. Well, those are your latest news headlines. Right now, here's today's weather forecast.
I'm meteorologist Dominica Davis with the Nonstop forecast. Well, fall begins today, but it's going to be feeling a lot more like summer with the temperatures around for the next couple of days being 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Fall officially arrives tonight, though, at 11:09, and temperatures, like I said, are going to be on the warm side. That warm surge begins today. Our winds are coming in from the south, and we will have partly cloudy skies and increasing clouds later in the day. A front off to the west could give us a chance for some scattered showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder by this evening. Storms move out by tonight, and tomorrow the warm weather sticks around. No rain in the forecast, though, so we will have a good amount of sunshine, and it will be another warm one with temperatures well above normal. Could even be close to 90 by the end of the week. For today, though, we are at 84 in the city. We'll see highs in the low to mid 80s in some spots. Could even have a few high 80s around Newark. Expected high 87 for today. Tonight, the storm chance will last through the early part of the evening, mainly a passing shower or thunderstorm. So for the most part, we will be dry. Temperatures are going to be very mild, just like we saw this morning, in the upper 60s and a few upper 50s out to the north and the west. Looking ahead as we push into the weekend, we continue with that warm weather. It's a quiet and hot finish to Friday with temperatures well into the 80s. Could even have a few 90 readings. By Saturday, temperatures start to fall. We have another front come through, and that could give us a chance for some scattered showers late in the day Saturday, and then a better chance of that on Sunday. So here's a look at the extended forecast. Temperatures staying in the 80s for the next couple of days. Then we fall into the 70s by the end of the weekend. 72 on Sunday, 74 on Monday.
It's hard to believe that it was less than a week ago when the storm hit, and that they're still cleaning up in Queens.
They are. They've really suffered quite a mess. A lot of downed trees still littering the area, and residents are wondering when they're going to get some relief. Linda Beccaro has more.
A bus driver who tried to rescue the woman crushed in her car along the Grand Central Parkway last week has now lost his life. Doctors reportedly say he suffered an aneurysm brought on by his heroic efforts as homeowners and car owners continue to clean up from the tornado.
We want to know when the city's going to show up in our area.
A simple question, but no easy answers for people who still have a tree on their house or on their car or on their sidewalk. As one official put it, Forest Hills has lost its forest.
How do we know it's a disaster beyond their capability?
FEMA's Lynn Canton will lead a team of federal inspectors through storm-damaged neighborhoods today. If the tornado did more than $25 million worth of damage, well, then some residents can get some money back, even if they don't have insurance. But the city's top emergency management official warns.
It's not a slam dunk, so we're going to have to go through it. There are lots of things that FEMA accept and do not.
And what college student Natalie Rojas of Flushing finds unacceptable, there are still giant limbs on her family's house now 6 days after the tornado, and still no power.
It's frustrating and it's stressful, and I'm hungry and there's nothing to cook, so I got to go eat out. I can't even charge my phone.
And her neighbor says some of the damage could have been minimized if New York kept a closer eye on trees before storms.
The city don't take care of these trees. I put in a complaint 5 years ago, for them to trim the tree that was over my house. It was bigger than this. It went further, like up to my chimney.
You know, Joanne, we talked about how when you have your power out, the first day you tough it out, the second day you tough it out. By the 5th and 6th days, you are just at wit's end.
Absolutely, and there's for a lot of people, they don't have maybe someone's home where they can go to and hang out with their family for a week. And when it comes to cooking, feeding the kids, and showering, getting ready in the morning, it's a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Well, we hope certainly that they get this done, and maybe if they get this FEMA certification, people can get some money back on the money they've laid out to help with the cleanup. So that would be good.
Absolutely.
All right, you get in the subway now. If you don't have a newspaper to read, you're forced to stare at your fellow strap hangers until you get there.
And they love when you do that.
They like that
right?
in the subway.
Because it's not like that hasn't happened before. But there's a new program to show some video and put some TV screens in different trains so that you can sort of be entertained. But it's really ads that they're showing.
But still, anything moving is what I'm looking at.
Talking to me.
This is going to be, and you're going to see like up on the top where those ads usually are, you know, for the personal injury attorneys. To see a lot of them.
The dermatologists.
The dermatologists. But anyway, the first prototype, it was run on the shuttle between Grand Central and, not Penn Station, Grand Central and Times Square, of course. I've only lived in the city my whole life.
You ride that
anyway,
train
they started, yes, I ride the trains occasionally with the people, but they have, they started using some Yankee highlights. I thought it was really cool. I'm in favor of this. I think this is a great idea.
I think so too, like you said. I mean, and we love that, right? We need that constant stimulation. So any moving image at all, I think, would be welcome. And depending on what they show, if the ads are good enough, they'll keep us entertained on the trains.
Now, here's my question for you.
Yeah.
Inevitably, we're going to be reading the story. This just in, 5 of those TV screens were stolen out of the train. I guess they got the technology to get it in there.
Have you no faith in the riding public?
I love New York. I have no faith in
the riding
us New Yorkers. We'll keep it and just watch it and let it go.
Yeah, hopefully it'll stay there for at least a week. At least a week.
All right, the Jets, they seem to be lurching from crisis to crisis despite the fact that they won that big game against the Patriots on Sunday. This time it had to do with the early morning arrest yesterday morning of wide receiver Braylon Edwards.
That's right. He actually tested twice the legal limit of alcohol. He was driving in the car, pulled over by police for having dark windows, which will get you pulled over very often by police. And they asked him to take a breathalyzer, and they say that it came back at twice the legal limit. Of course, this is just a charge at this point. But the controversy where it comes in is that he is going to be able to play the next Jets game.
He's going to suit up against the Miami Dolphins, but they're not going to start him. And a lot of people, some people at least, have been saying, well, either don't play him. So what's your status if you're not starting? You're still dressing and you may be called in. So is it a sanction against him? Is it not a sanction against him? Of course, the Jets say they're still doing their own investigation as to how they're going to respond to this.
Sure, and again, just charges at this point, but as you say, you bring up a very important point. Is it a sanction or is it not? And if you allow him there, are you really sending the right message, you know, considering what it is that he was arrested and charged for? Other Jets players in the car with him as well, but not charged.
Right, they had been at a charity event, I believe.
They had been at a charity event just that evening.
One thing a lot of people were saying yesterday, if you're going to be, obviously you should never drink and drive, and if you know you're going to an event, especially folks who have the means, get a car, get a driver, and you don't have this problem. So unfortunately, that's what's going on. Paris Hilton will not be spending as much time in Japan as she had planned on because they don't want her to stay in the country.
That's right. She had pleaded guilty to drug charges in Las Vegas, but apparently the law in Japan doesn't allow you, if you are convicted of a drug crime, to enter the country. So she went to Tokyo to promote her fragrance line and was planning a huge event, and apparently she was denied. They let her stay for the one night while they looked into the immigration issues, and they told her to go home.
I was shocked by that because it was like, well, it's a possession charge in another country, but some countries have laws, and if you have a drug charge anywhere, they don't let you in. This is the price of doing something like that. You see how it really follows you around.
And you have to follow the international laws. See, because if you get arrested for drug charges in Singapore, you could be caned.
Right.
So being thrown out of Tokyo isn't as bad.
Right. Word to the wise.
Word to the wise, that's right. So what do you think about this double down sandwich and wearing the advertisement on your behind?
This is the bunless sandwich.
But
right?
buns are really the issue here.
The buns are the issue here. So what KFC is doing, which was headquartered in a city I used to live in, a city I love, Louisville, Kentucky. They're paying young college women, not college guys, I guess we could see why, to wear an advertisement for this bunless sandwich on their
buns,
if you will.
On their buns,
sweatpants.
And it would say double down.
Right.
I don't know that either word should be written on your behind, but it would say double down. It's somewhere between $500 and $600, and I think a lot of co-eds would find that pretty attractive. They wear all sorts of other things on the sweatpants. There's other writing.
$5 when you're a college student?
I think that's kind of attractive.
Wearing the double down.
Yes, but as we said, your buns will be double the size. You keep eating that double down.
And no daughter of mine is wearing double down on her behind. Ever. If I come down there, Missy, you're taking those sweatpants off. Everyone remembers the famous scene in the Ten Commandments where Charlton Heston goes to the edge of the Red Sea and parts it with his staff in his hand.
Yes.
Now there may be a scientific reason behind what was going on in that
Well, because there's always a scientific reason behind everything, right? The National Center for Atmospheric Research has done a study, and what they say is that they think certain winds, certain land formations could have caused what appeared to be a parting of the sea and not divine intervention.
But it would have to be blowing pretty steadily to do that, right?
Well, they say it would have to be blowing about 63 miles per hour for 12 hours straight, and it could potentially part the sea 6 feet.
Well, and now, no one is doubting the veracity of the Bible.
Of course.
Or the veracity of Charlton Heston. But,
Exactly.
But, you know, this could be one of these situations, too, where the ancients who put together the Bible looked at natural phenomena and then
attributed it to some sort of divine intervention.
Right, not always, you know, that we're not doubting anybody
Right,
here.
not always literal.
I'm getting struck from above right now.
Father Mike on line 2 for you.
Okay, as you know, the UN General Assembly is in town right now. One of the most contentious visits every year is when the Iranian leader, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, comes to town.
Sure.
The Post now has dug up the dirt, if you will, on just about everything on him. Now, what he's eating. What he's eating.
They say that at the Hilton East in the city that he brought his own personal chef, which many world leaders do.
Sure.
And that the food smells bad, and that there are people complaining that the food smells bad. I think unfair article in the first place, to be honest. I mean, you know, notwithstanding what you feel about him, the country, or other policies, to get into the food and the ethnicity, it's just, I mean, it's subjective. I could make something that I think smells good and tastes good, and maybe you can come into my house and think it doesn't smell very good. I really think that's not even the issue, and focusing attention on that is wasted time.
I mean, it's very difficult for those of us here in New York to hear someone come out who's a Holocaust denier, who speaks so difficultly about, speaks so harshly about Jewish people, about the state of Israel. But you know, we realize this is the UN. People come here, and unfortunately, they have that right to say things we find very distasteful. Right. But you know, to get into it's like they're running out of Ahmadinejad things to criticize.
I just think when, and like you said, it is hard to listen to the things he says, and they are offensive to so many people. But when you get into that, you really distract from the larger, more important issues, because this is really a non-issue.
That's an excellent point. Well, we're going to talk more about the UN when we come back, specifically about the business of the General Assembly and whether it hurts the small businesses that are near it.
Are you ready? We're welcoming some new faces to NBC Wednesday.
I'm Olivia. This is Elliot.
Nice meeting you. From J.J. Abrams, the night kicks off with the premiere of Undercovers. Let's do it. Then, it's Joan Cusack and the 2-hour premiere of SVU.
Why won't anyone believe me?
Wednesday's new Partners in Crime.
Fate works in mysterious ways.
The premiere of Undercovers and SVU is tonight on NBC.
Answer your healthcare calling today. Would you like to begin? Ready to train for opportunities in the healthcare industry? Then call Sanford Brown Institute today. Want to check out some of the career training options at Sanford Brown? Medical assisting, medical billing and coding, diagnostic medical ultrasound. Would you like a brochure? Then call 888-556-0304, 888-556-0304.
Optimum Triple Play is the star of the show. Come on, ladies, let's do it. Get all your channels on IOTV. It's super sharp with free HD. Watch on demand, your time, your style. $29.95, it's worth your while. 866-669-8679. Optimum Online, so fast divine. Download in no time. Wi-Fi is free, internet on the fly, $29.95. You can get black. It's 66669867 It's 66669867 I like my Jessica play. Call your friends, find out what's hot. With Optimum Voice, you can talk a lot. Puerto Rico, Canada, call state to state. You won't pay much, it's all one rate. Yeah. It's 66669867 It's 66669867 Optimum Triple Play. Save with style.
So one of the other issues surrounding the UN General Assembly, specifically here in New York
Right.
City, is the gridlock and the traffic nightmares that are caused.
That's right. Matter of fact, it's happening just a couple of blocks away from where we're standing. This is about as far east as you can go this weekend. Roseanne Coletti reports the businesses there say when the UN's in town, it's a real challenge.
I'm walking from all the way up there to all the way down there because taking a taxi stinks in this environment. It's terrible.
Tough to take a taxi, terrible to drive. And we haven't seen anything yet.
But Thursday is the mother of all gridlocks.
You don't need a map, says the former transportation commissioner. Iran's president will be speaking before the UN on the east side, and President and Mrs. Obama will be hosting events on the west side. Wednesday won't be much better either, with President Obama's arrival and his first stop at the UN.
Sometimes you can get through, sometimes you can't, and it's just hit or miss.
All that security causing all that congestion is costing the city an estimated $5 to $7 million. But at least the diplomats are fueling the local economy, aren't they?
We just went to the Apple store last night and the Best Buy, which is open 24 hours because we are working the whole evening until later in the night. So those are the only two shops that were open.
Restaurants bitten by the recession are hoping for their just desserts in increased business.
But tonight maybe we'll be busier. The lunch is really slow because there's too much traffic in town.
But where patrons must pass a security check before they even get to the door, like this Teuscher's chocolate shop, UN Week can prove unprofitable.
It does hurt us, though, without a doubt. We take probably anywhere from 20 to 30% for this week, which is for a small business is a lot.
Yeah, it's actually the traffic's going to be even worse today, darling, because the president's coming to town to speak at the UN, and you know when that happens, you know what it's like.
Well, of course. I mean, we've been in the city and traveling around the city where those frozen zones are immediately shut down without warning.
Right.
So, of course, if you can stay away from the east side, you can. He's going to be tackling poverty issues when he speaks this evening, probably during the afternoon rush.
Okay, so we'll be watching that.
Yes, we will. We're also watching the Bayonne Bridge. It's going up. Stay tuned.
The name of the game is choice.
Nowhere else but my Bob's. Not one, not two, but 7 reclining living rooms.
It's hard to believe. I mean, have you ever seen even one commercial advertising a motion set for $9.99? I sure as heck haven't.
Nowhere else but my Bob's, where the name of the game is value.
Even a motion sectional.
Your choice, only $9.99.
Take the gimmicks out. Quality, choice, and value, that's what Bob's Way's all about.
I'm 40 pounds thinner. Yep, these were my pants, and now I'm down to a size 8 again. I didn't starve myself, and I didn't go on a fad diet. So what helped me get back to my target weight? I breastfed my baby.
Breastfeeding burns up to 500 calories a day. That's like 2 hours of aerobic exercise. So while it's good for your baby, breastfeeding is also great for your body. Breastfeeding. For my baby. For me. Call the New York State Department of Health WIC program at 1-800-522-5006 for information and support.
Hey, New York, in the next 60 seconds, we want you to qualify to be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Pick up the phone and get ready to start dialing when the number appears on your screen. Call the number on your screen now, and we'll mail you a key. If your key opens the lock in the Direct Buy Club of the greater New York area, you'll be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Operators are standing by, so call right now. Direct Buy Club has already awarded over $1 million, and someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you? If the phone number is blinking, the phone lines are open. Call now to receive your key and an invitation to the Direct Buy Club of the greater New York area, where members can save thousands or more paying low direct from the source prices on big-ticket items like kitchen cabinets, home furnishings, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and so much more. Call now and get your key to winning a $50,000 home makeover. Someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you?
I'm meteorologist Dominica Davis with your Nonstop forecast. For today, it's another warm one. Temperatures well above normal, 10 to 15 degrees above normal in some spots. 84 for the expected high here in the city. We'll have sun mixing with some clouds by late in the day. So partly cloudy really to end your afternoon. It is going to be quite warm even though today starts fall. Fall begins at 11:09 this evening, but it will really be feeling a lot like summer for the next couple of days. 68 tonight. The clouds stay around. We could have a brief passing shower. Can't rule out a rumble of thunder or two passing us by early evening. Those storms clear out quick, but the clouds stay, and that means temperatures mild. So only 68 for the expected low in the city. There's a look at the extended forecast. Stays warm right into the week's end. Friday up to 88 degrees for the high. Temperatures start to fall off by the end of the weekend with the passing front. That will also bring us a chance for some showers by late in the weekend.
Welcome back to the Nonstop Rundown. So, bridge coming down, going up?
That's right. In this case, it's the Bayonne Bridge. And as Brian Thompson reports, it's not because of what's going on in New Jersey. It's actually because of what's going on down in Panama.
With big ships already coming close to scraping the underside of this bridge, the Port Authority feels it has made the case for action. But for motorists who negotiate these narrow lanes, the idea of shutting it down for any period of time is frightening.
This bridge I use every day. It's more easy for me, but this take it out for years, I'm gonna be dead.
It is a widening of the Panama Canal that is driving this issue. Within 5 years, supersized container ships from the Far East will be able to call at East Coast ports. But not here if this bridge stays as is. The challenge, according to Governor Christie,
take a deep breath and now figure out with the engineers and the appropriate people that the Port Authority will work with, what is the best way to solve this problem.
Among the top ideas, either making the center span a drawbridge or simply jack up the entire structure by 30 feet or so. If it needs to be shut down for an extended period, there's even been talk of resuming ferry service with Staten Island. But for residents near the approach, this Avenue A, there's another fear, a new route.
And the bridge now, when you come down, turns to the right. But if this approach turns to the left, this whole neighborhood is going to be wiped out.
After today's announcement, Mayor Mark Smith promised,
and I refuse, and I'll repeat it, I refuse to allow our citizens to be impacted adversely in that fashion. It's not something I'm going to allow.
Darling, think of all the major projects we have. 2nd Avenue subway, tearing up 2nd Avenue, uptown.
Forever.
Forever. We have the Holland Tunnel. We have that project's going on until 2015.
At least.
Now the Bayonne Bridge.
Now the Bayonne Bridge is going to be a lot of trouble, and a lot of people commute and use their cars and still insist on driving into the city. For some people, it's really the most efficient form of transportation. Many of them don't have other choices, and it's just going to be tough all around and a frustrating way in and out of New York City.
It's going to have to find a couple of detours. In the meantime, when we come back, finding a way to help the Soul Tigers, all they want to do is play in their uniforms.
Hey, what are you doing for lunch? Try boosting your metabolism. Cheaper hybrids, a fake Botox warning, driving a couch, Jersey Shore, and a YouTube sensation. That's the Daily Connection. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. Weekdays at 12:30.
Did you know that today, an education in cosmetology can give you a chance to help people look their best? A serious, rewarding career. Job security, flexible hours, and great income potential.
Look and feel your best with a beauty career. Hairstyling, nail artistry, and skincare. Great careers, each of which you can learn in less than a year. Classes start soon. Call today. 1-800-446-0639. That's 800-446-0639.
Get the best seat in the house during Raymore and Flanagan's Kickback for the Kickoff Sweepstakes. Visit our showroom, try out your favorite seat, enter to win 2 tickets and a trip to the big game in Dallas this February. Also, 25 lucky winners receive a top brand 50-inch 1080p plasma HD TV. Any purchase over $9.99 receives a free Kodak video camera. This season, football kicks off big time at Raymore and Flanagan.
Every mom has a team of trusted advisors. It's called her friends who get it. Widen your circle on iVoices on iVillage. With inspiring stories from real moms making real choices every day. Only at iVillage.com/iVoices.
Nobody intimidates our clients, nobody. That's one reason we're America's most successful Social Security disability advocates. If you're disabled and you can't work anymore, call 1-800-66 BINDER.
One of the toughest things going on in schools right now is the lack of money for different extracurricular activities like the band.
Absolutely. And the band, when you think of schools and how much school spirit means to a lot of kids, and we don't see a lot of that these days. So this is one story that you're going to want to listen to. These kids really deserve to have that chance. DeMarco Morgan has more.
At every command, loud and clear, Brooklyn's very own Soul Tigers marching band here at IS 292 are not to be underestimated when it comes to their smarts, talents, and of course their high-stepping techniques.
Of course, best band in Brooklyn, can nobody touch us.
But drum major Edwin Figueroa knows that without the proper funding, the internationally renowned marching band could take a mighty blow to its program.
Without the funding, can no longer continue the program. There's always things needed, new drums, new sticks, new heads. Without that, there's no band.
Budget cuts across the state and city, according to band director Kenyatta Hughes, are now putting the program at risk. A group of more than 100 students with only 30 uniforms to work with.
Well, that means that we have no instructors to teach the kids. And that to keep the program going, I would have to teach all components of the marching band.
Wow. Now, it's about more than just dancing and the beats to go along with it. The band keeps most of these kids off the streets.
Before I came to this band, I was constantly getting in trouble.
East New York is, if you watch the news, you see something's always happening here.
The band recently traveled to Africa, has led the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and has performed with Jessica Simpson, just to name a few. Now they are in dire need of funding, volunteers, and uniforms to keep the program up and marching.
I feel like if we can keep 125, 130 kids off the street with the marching band, why not, support this program and keep it running by any means necessary.
Students are hoping someone watching will join in on the beat, lending a helping hand.
You see in that story, too, how much the band means to kids. It's just more than playing at games. It's a whole experience. It's about belonging. It's about accomplishment. And you would hope that the money for this type of stuff could become available.
I really do. I hope so. That's a band.
That's a great band.
That's a marching band if you ever saw one. So we certainly do wish them luck.
Yeah, good luck, Soul Tigers.
Yeah, good luck, Soul Tigers.
Good luck to everybody else today on this Gridlock UN Day. That's the Nonstop Rundown. I'm Michael Gargiulo.
And it's a windy day, too.
It's a
That's
windy
the
day.
Nonstop Rundown. I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Have a great day.